frosted glass.
All right, gang, welcome back to another episode of Death Curse Society. I'm your host, Red Crank. I got Moly Michael, I got the Colonel, and I got Zigzag. We got a fun show to talk about today. I'm so excited. Let's go camping!
You're going to Camp Blood, ain't you? You'll never come back again. It's got a death curse.
All right, our topic for Let's Go Camping today should be of no surprise to anyone that's a fan of horror out there. It's the week we've been waiting a year and a half for. Halloween drops Friday, October 19th. By the time some of you have seen this episode, we will have seen Halloween, and we're so pumped and excited about it. We're just going to talk kind of our final thoughts about what we're looking for. You know, we're going to talk a little bit about the trailers again. We're going to talk a little bit about cast and crew interviews. Moly, let's get started with you. Talk to us about some of the trailers and stuff.
Oh, wow. Well, there's been a lot of trailers for this movie now. I mean, a lot of little spots on TV. I mean, The Walking Dead last night just had a spot of him walking in the junkyard. I mean, that was great. They showed those miners like, ow, that's my dude. I mean, it's everywhere. I mean, they're really promoting this movie. I'm loving it. I think the only thing that really I saw from newer little spots were like, there's a scene where you see like his messed up eyeball when he's like getting walked. You know, that was nice. You know, from when he got the fucking clothes hanger. Yeah. Enough with the trailers. Let's go. Come on now. I mean, we got a couple days left. Let's just get it on. I need it now.
Right, Zag. Anything to add?
Right. They pretty much laid it all out there, and you know, the mention of Laurie Strode, that latest one last night, where he's trying to force him to say, "Look at it, look at you know, Michael." And I'm seeing some of the scores coming off the thing, you know, and like some of the big shot, you know, reviewers. Everybody's in unison saying this shit is good. So, man, you know, I mean, that's like he said. Enough with the trailers. Let's go. It's time. We're here, man. Happy Halloween.
Right. The one review that they keep using in one of the trailers, or a couple of the trailers, says, you know, this isn't just a great horror movie. It's a great movie, period. Yeah. Now, I don't necessarily know the source from that, IO9 or 109 or something like that. But
it's me.
Do you know who that is?
No, I'm just saying, motherfuckers, when it really wasn't.
Oh, it was you? Oh, okay.
They paid me.
We forgot Colonel's part of the collective out there. You know, sometimes he's just underground and shit. Colonel, talk to us about the trailers and what we've seen so far for Halloween.
Man, I'm just fucking pumped and ready for this movie like all the other gentlemen. It's been a year and a half of anticipation. We've pretty much broke down everything we could possibly about all the past trailers. But something that keeps catching my eye is, man, that chick who was playing the babysitter to that one little kid from the closet kill gets hotter and hotter every fucking time. Mm-hmm. Every time I see a little more bra strapped to that baseball t-shirt. I'm going, oh, she's boobies, but I'm not going to see them. But yeah, man, just fucking bring it on. I'm ready for Michael. I'm ready for Laurie. I want to see this continue. I'm ready. Let's go.
We might need to check the age of consent in Haddonfield. I'm not sure what it is, but we'll look into that. We'll have our legal team look into that for you.
I was going to say step outside of the movie, and that bitch is like fucking 37. Okay, I can look at her.
Good point. Kind of like was it Annie in the first one?
Yeah,
was like.
Hey, I would think if it's going to be kind of going back to the retro style of the '80s, we're definitely going to see a couple of tits in this movie.
I would assume.
Tits aplenty.
Tits aplenty? Is that what you said?
Tits aplenty.
See anything you like?
There's a hashtag. All right. And I mentioned this before in other episodes. My only concern is we've seen a lot. We pretty much know everything that's going to happen in the movie, except maybe the very end. And of course, majority of dialogue. But we've got from start to finish the way this movie is going to lay out, it seems like. And actually, we put together a supercut trailer from a bunch of pieces of it. If you guys haven't checked that out, look it up on YouTube and check that out. It's 7 minutes of just Halloween Michael Myers goodness.
All of it.
I think you'll enjoy it. So
It's very good.
on top of the trailers, they've also been doing a lot of cast and crew interviews. Jamie Lee Curtis was on Jimmy Kimmel a couple nights ago. I watched that, which was interesting. And she was just, she said something like she doesn't like doing late night talk shows at all, but she's also been on like Good Morning America and a couple other things. And then YouTube has a bunch of interviews with her and David Gordon Green and Jason Blum and even a couple other actors and other crew members. Some of those are interesting. And I'll be honest, when I first started seeing Jamie Lee Curtis coming out and talking so much about this being about a woman going through trauma and dealing with PTSD, when she first started talking about that months ago, it got on my nerves. And I didn't know why at the time, but
Yeah.
I feel like I'm pretty much a feminist stuck in a man's body. I'm all with the movements that are going on, politically and non-politically. But her going on and on about it just seemed a little weird to me. But as I've seen more of the movie and kind of pieced together what I think the movie is going to be like, I get it. And it does make sense. But I think she might be taking a little bit too much of a step onto, tiptoeing too much into that political realm of, what we're living now in the real world. But it's been interesting. It's been interesting. Zag, what do you got to? Have you seen any interesting crew cast interviews?
The main thread that goes through all the interviews that I've seen thus far is and obviously I understand a lot of it is fluff and hype and everything, but a lot of them said they were genuinely scared at times while shooting this, and that always tickles my stomach a little bit when I hear shit like that. So, but I real quick wanted to go back to something you said about the trailer layout and everything. I think these guys, the way they presented it and everything, purposely have left, they're showing us a lot, but man, just like during The Walking Dead last night, you saw there were some expanded scenes that we haven't seen that were, it got the tension ramped up immensely. So, I think they left enough of the holes and gaps in there just to keep it's going to be rewarding once we get there.
Yeah.
Sure.
But as far as the interviews, yes, that was the main thread. I believe these guys have done a good job. Green, McBride have come forth and said, look, we've tried to deliver a movie that we would want to see. And I think I believe them thus far. Again, I know a lot of it's hype, and actors say this about every fucking movie they ever star in and work on, but something about this one.
Right. Yeah, when Cape Fear came out, you got to remember, De Niro was saying, hey, this is one of the best movies I've been in. And I saw an interview with him last night, and he was making fun of Cape Fear. So, yeah, it's all hype, man. Counselor. No, we're not going to get into that.
Counselor, come out wherever you are.
Sorry, De Niro, love you, but stick to the gangsta flicks, not the creepy, scary flicks. Molly, cast and crew interviews. You seen anything interesting or you want to talk about?
I like the one where they had Jamie Lee Curtis, the daughter and the granddaughter, and David Gordon Green. That was a really good one. The daughter, or the granddaughter, by the way, you could have that babysitter, Colonel, because I'll be taking the Strode granddaughter. Okay, she's just got such a pretty cute little face. Woo! Oh, moly! So, yeah. All right, but Jamie Lee Curtis, yeah, she talks a lot about the PTSD and how it's a trauma movie, and then they talk about how like each generation of Strode woman is kind of like Lori in a different state of her life. You get the granddaughter who's kind of like Lori in the first movie. Now Lori, at her age, she's all ready for him. She's been preparing, and then you got the daughter that's kind of in the middle, like, yeah, I think you're still a little crazy there, Mom. But the granddaughter and Lori seem to connect because that's what they were talking about, how they kind of have a relationship that the mom doesn't have with Lori. And David Gordon Green, what he was talking about as they were making the movie, about how, they try to keep the continuity. They threw in the tidbits and the little throwbacks to the old movies. And he really wanted the music from John Carpenter. But through it all, when it all got done, he needed that seal of approval from John Carpenter. So, just the passion between him and everybody else, even up to Blumhouse, how everybody worked together and they really wanted to make this right. I mean, you can see that from the trailers that this is going to be a very top-notch Halloween movie. And I'm not going to be disappointed, even by the slightest. I'm not worried about it. It's not expectations anymore. It's just I already know it's going to be a good movie. It's not Halloween, but you're not trying to beat Halloween. You're trying to make something to live up to it as a sequel. And I think it's going to do it. So.
I agree. I think it's going to be great. I'm trying not to have my expectations too high, but as the date gets closer and closer, it's just, you're lucky this is not a full body shot right now. I'm just saying, because hey, I got to squat down a little bit. So, Colonel, what do you got to add about cast and crew interviews that you've seen so far?
So I got a couple things I'd like to go over here. First, cast and crew. I'm sorry, I cannot get over the Comic-Con interview with E.T. So, does people still wear hockey masks and chase you around? Jamie and Laurie Curse was like that. I'm like, what the fuck's this idiot thinking? What the hell? I got something for you, E.T. Stay the fuck out of our world. We do not need you.
Right.
Do people still put on hockey masks and try to scare you?
It's the wrong movie, baby.
Right, but do people ever do that? What? Michael Myers? Oh, he pulled on the mask.
He was like, no, baby, mommy knows her.
He pulled on the mask. He pulled on the mask.
I am like, that was another movie.
Right, he pulled on the mask.
I think that was Friday the 13th, wasn't it? Hockey mask?
I've heard of it, yeah.
Yes.
He pulled on the mask.
Yeah, Entertainment Tonight, we're for hire. We'll come and do the horror interviews for you if you need help. I mean,
we'll get it right. At least we know the difference between our slashers. I mean, come on, basic fucking research will tell this guy, oh, hockey mask is Jason Voorhees. Okay. Let me calm down. All right. Second thing, I'd like to go back to the point you made, Crank, about Jamie Lee Curtis talking about PTSD and women's struggle and all that. Just really had me thinking, talking about another Halloween film here, and off subject, yes. But Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 really focused on Laurie going through PTSD, but people weren't nearly as positive about it as they are now. I know times change.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a big button issue. Granted, I mean, it had a bunch of weird shit going on, but take that weird shit out, and that's what Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 was at its core, a survivor going through that stress. That's just something to think about. Like, okay, that movie gets a lot of hate, deservedly so, but that's one of the issues people bring up as to why they hate it in certain circles. So I just don't understand why everybody's open for it now and they weren't fucking 8 years ago. That's all.
I think it would have been, without the weird shit, it would have been more acceptable.
Well,
I would have accepted it a lot more as that type of trauma movie without all that weird-ass dream sequences and the weird shit with the horse. And like, no, okay, Zombie, I love you, but you gone a little too far now. This isn't some music video. This is Michael Myers, okay?
And one of the things about Zombies film that I don't think they did, I don't remember if they ever came out and like blatantly stated that she was going through PTSD. Did they?
No, it's just obvious.
I mean, I don't believe so, but it's pretty obvious that she was. I
don't think they said PTSD, but it was pretty, right there. It's like
right. But that I think that is one difference. I mean, they're talking about this before the movie even comes out, and that one, like you said, times are different. I mean, what was Halloween 2 Zombie? Was it 2009?
7, and then 9.
Yeah. Well, the first one was 7, and then 2009 for part 2. So, times are sadly quite a bit different in the world now,
Wait a minute. To finish the thought on the Rob Zombie thing, I'll just say this. For me, it's a much more simple explanation. Nobody really liked that Laurie Strode, that version of it, to me. I think Jamie Lee Curtis, everybody loves the queen of horror, Scream Queen. But this new one, hey, where's she been? She ain't done anything really since. She's made a couple of small films, but she overacted a Laurie Strode role, in my opinion, and I think that's why nobody gave a fuck, about that.
Her character wasn't as likable. No, not at all.
Right. Scout Taylor Compton, I think. She was good for what it was, but, you don't go to a Rob Zombie film looking for, Meryl Streep style acting.
No, but I also don't want it overacted like that either, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But it's kind of, I mean, she did overact, but she doesn't nearly overact as bad as fucking Shuri Moon Zombie.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
Well, I mean, just a scene alone from that Rob Zombie's Halloween that made Laurie just seem way different than Laurie Strode of the original is with her parents. That's the kind of Laurie we got, huh? Okay, well, I don't really have that sympathy for you. It's just not there. I'm not going to feel it.
exactly.
Especially when it gives you a fucking chance to survive at the end. Whatever.
And again, you don't see Sherry in too many movies outside of zombies movies anyway, so you pretty much know why she's being hired.
Yeah.
Let's go to predictions and expectations. Zag, what are you predicting and expecting from the Halloween film this week?
I predict a well-crafted film that's going to deliver visually. It's going to have the jump scares properly, not just thrown in there at every turn. Everything about it looks great. I expect this to make a ton of money, and I do expect a sequel.
I expect this to definitely break some horror box office records. Definitely it's going to be the top first weekend grossing Halloween movie of all time. I mean, hell, the last one was, like you said, 2009. Colonel, what do you got on predictions and expectations?
All right, like you gentlemen, I am expecting a great horror film. Will it be the greatest, best Halloween since the first? I'm still a little skeptical. I just don't want my hopes too high. Because if I go with too high hopes, I'm not going to appreciate the film as much as I probably should. So I'm trying to be even with this. But sequel, and you heard it here first, folks, 100 million opening weekend box office. Huge. I'm going 100 mil.
That's high.
I'm going to take the under, but the starting line is 100 million.
Well, yeah, I'd definitely take the under. I'm thinking closer to around 70. Like 65, 70 is going to be, at least for the first weekend. I definitely think it'll make 100. You think 80? All right. I think 100 overall, maybe even closer to 150 million overall, but I think this first weekend's only going to be about 65, 70 million. We'll see.
We'll see.
Molly, what do you got?
Well, it's going to be in the top three. I mean, it's going to be Halloween, Halloween 2, and this movie. No other Halloween in my mind is going to be as good as those three. Probably in that order, too, just because Halloween 2 is such a classic. And it continues from the original. And I love, that it was still, I know it was 81, but, based supposedly in the 70s. I love that type of shit. But my expectations are to leave the movie fucking jacked up, ready to see it again, maybe even try to go to the bathroom and just sneak back in the theater and watch it again. Who knows? Pretty much the only thing you can really predict is the ending. Now the ending, for our next show, I want to see if I'm right on this. I'm going to say that out of Myers and the 3 Strode women, all 4, nobody dies. I'm going to say the Strode women are fine. They may get Myers in, I don't know, some sort of fucked up situation. But I don't think you're going to see him die. They're going to leave it open enough to where he could come back for a different movie. But I don't want them to do another movie. I don't want them to wait 10 years and have him be 71. Fuck that shit. Let this be the end of this storyline, but don't kill him off. That's how I think they're going to do it. They're not going to kill him off. And if they imply they killed him off, you're still not going to see it. That's what I'm thinking. That's my prediction. Let's see if I'm right.
Moly, 60 is the new 40, man.
Mm-hmm.
We can't really keep going with the storyline for the age purpose. I mean, honestly.
Well, but if Michael Myers is just a force of evil, evil never dies.
He's a force of evil, but he does age because you can see that he's old.
Sure.
I mean, eventually things do die. So.
Sure.
I mean, yeah, but Michael Myers is different. He
I don't know. Two words about Michael Myers dying. Nanobots. It's possible.
Jesus. We going through this again? Come back, Zag. Come back. I couldn't even.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well,
are we hiring again?
have an open spot here for you.
Direct resumes to Red Crank.
Red Crank at deathcursesociety.com. Thank you.
Good luck. They couldn't pay you enough to work with these three assholes. I do this shit for free.
I was going to say, wait, who's getting paid?
Paid?
All right.
I get paid to work in a nut house. I ain't get paid at all.
One of you said something about I don't want to wait 10 years for another sequel. I think this is kicking off a whole new series. I think it's got that edge to do it. So we might not have to wait another 10 years for another sequel. I think if we do have a sequel put into works right after the box office numbers start coming in, it's going to be something's going to come out within a year or at the most 2. And then they'll go from there. Other than that, I will go into one prediction. I think it's possible Jamie Lee Curtis's character dies. I think it's very possible Jamie Lee Curtis's character dies, and that the granddaughter, I'm pretty sure the granddaughter lives, Andy Matichak's character. And she will come, yes, Molly's chub lifter for the moment. I believe she will kind of be the catalyst that carries on the next show or the next film. We'll see. I don't know.
Man, I just hope they don't do it like Scream and have an imposter Michael Myers or something. You know what I mean? Just come on, man.
I don't see him doing something like that. But
an imposter killer isn't always the worst thing.
We love Roy. We love Roy.
All right, Roy. All right.
Roy's the exception. He's okay.
We know about Roy. All right.
Yeah, you got to remember, Colonel has a stroke fest for Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning.
Oh, yeah.
Roy.
Real nasty.
But that's where I see, if they were going to continue the series from what I assume this is going to be like, that's where I see it going. And like Molly, I'm going to be seeing it Thursday night at 7 o'clock. And you goddamn right, I'm staying in the theater until 9. If they try to kick me out, I will beat that fucking janitor's ass over and over and over again.
It's custodian, Dick.
Whatever. Custodian this dick.
Custodian this dick. Clean it up, Rook.
Yeah, if you guys going to be seeing it twice in the same night, it damn well may make $100 million the first weekend.
Well,
I didn't say it paid for the second viewing.
I'm definitely, I'm not paying for the second viewing.
I'm going to see it sometime Friday afternoon after work, so I'll be the last one in the group to see it. Don't fucking spoil it, assholes.
Oh,
I ain't saying shit, buddy. You know me. All right, that's going to wrap it up for Let's Go Camping. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with more Death Curse Society. Stick around.
Yeah.
Never, ever, ever, under any circumstances say, I'll be right back. Because you won't be back.
I'm getting another beer. You want one?
Yeah, sure.
I'll be right back.
Hey, how you doing, man? I'm Nick Castle, and you're listening to Death Curse Society.
All right, gang, welcome back to Death Curse Society. I'm still your host, Red Crank, and these are my friends. We got Molly Michael, we got the Colonel, and we got Zigzag. Now it's time for us to shoot a bunch of topics at you pretty quickly, hopefully. We're going to give you some stories around the campfire.
I don't want to scare anyone, but I'm going to give it to you straight about Jason.
Hey, come back, come back!
All right, our first story around the campfire involves The Walking Dead. We've seen the first couple episodes now. Colonel, talk to us about this.
Or as I call it, the walking sleep. Because that's what it did to me after an hour. I understand it's a season premiere and you want to have it to be an hour and a half long, but Jesus Christ, I could give a fuck less what Michonne and Rick are talking about in bed being all sweet. Some of us have to get up early in the morning, assholes. Give us some action. You could do this all you want, but man, you know those genitals stink to high heaven. They ain't making soap. Shit smells like fucking armpit grease and fucking something else. I don't know. So anyway,
you got soap?
You got soap? Nope. Put the dick in your mouth. Sorry, that's bad to laugh at your own jokes. Okay. So, back on topic, people.
Let's try to get this back in. Let's try to reel this back in a little bit.
Okay, so once Rick and Michonne were laying in bed before they, like everybody thinks, I'll watch you tomorrow. I'll finish you up. So I wake up and finish the episode, and it's not much of a surprise. Daryl and Maggie are still upset at Rick that Negan's alive. Episode 2, it picked up a little bit, but still following the same theme of that loss of respect for Rick and even Michonne at some point from Maggie's interaction with her. But the highlight episode 2 for me was the logs. It's log from Ren and Stimpy.
What rolls downstairs, a motor in pairs, rolls over your neighbor's dog. What's great for a snack and fits on your back? It's log, log, log. It's log, log. It's big, it's heavy, it's wood. It's log, log. It's better than that, it's good.
Taking out a whole herd. That shit was awesome. But that's the highlight of your episode. That leaves much to be desired.
That was a good scene. I understand where they're going. They're slow building, as we talk about with a lot of different projects out there in the horror world. They had a big battle and ending with the all-out war and the capturing of Negan. So it to me it makes a little sense to kind of, you know, hey, let's show things are a little calmed down now, and that we're not necessarily too. I like the fact they have like security measures already worked out for herds. Molly, let's go to you on this topic.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Colonel, I get it. You know, it's slow, especially the first episode. But there was a good scene there at the museum. I thought that was kind of cool. You know, it was slow, but like Craig said, I mean, they got done with a big battle. You know, this season already seems like it's going to be more internal conflict than fighting another huge group. This is more the communities having to deal with each other. And, you know, the big thing, they got to get them laws in place, man. People got to go by these laws. And, you know, that's probably what eventually is going to happen here. But, you know, got to keep Negan locked up, you know, and, you know, it's going to be a slow burn. I didn't really have much talking about on the first one, but the second episode, me personally, I like how they talked about with Earl and why he did what he did, Earl's alcoholism. You know, I could relate with that. I thought that was a nice little twist. It was a little more intimate to me. The log roll was hilarious. You know, like Colonel said, that was good stuff. Oh, there was a line in the second episode I loved between what's the pastor's name?
Father Gabriel.
Mm-hmm.
Gabriel. Him and the junkyard lady. And then right there at the end,
Anna.
He's just like, I'm supposed to be on watch. She's like, then watch. Oh, yeah. Oh, that was nice. I like that one. So, and then Ezekiel and Carol hooking up, you know, possibly, you know, whoop, whoop. Like, all right, well, I knew they liked each other, but I didn't really see it going that far. And then possible whispers. Whispers, is that what we saw at the end there?
I think so.
That last guy? I mean,
I don't know.
Happening here?
I don't know if we're there yet, but
Not sure. The guy seemed to know who it was.
Yeah, I know the Whisperers are coming in this season, but I don't think they're coming right now. Maybe mid-season, closer to that. Mid-season finale or whatever. Zag, what do you got?
I agree. This show, it's epic and it's great to support horror on regular television. But it's after that huge battle they had and how it shook out. It's a rebuilding process now, and they're showing that. The laws are in place. They have elected officials, and that's what kind of wrapped up episode 1. I'll say it. It's a very disturbing hanging. I'm not going to say who. I won't spoil it that much. But it's pretty gripping. And the leader comes out and says, "No, that's it. I don't want this to happen again. It won't happen again." And so, I mean, you got some ruthless people here right in our camp. Kind of, showing their true colors now. And kind of plays on what Colonel and Molly said. Daryl and Maggie are pissed that Negan is still alive. But what I got out of it is, to me, it looks like Rick goes down there and he fucks with him and talks to him like that often. And he doesn't want to hear it. But that's how he's going to screw with him and torture him for all the shit he did to them. So that's why I got out of it. And I kind of dig it. I like what it's going. And I really loved how it hung up the last part of the second part, where Rick was still in the cell with Negan, and Negan's just told him, "You think you got this shit locked down? No way, because you're just getting it ready for me," And he's got a look in his eye that's ominous. And again, I don't know if that was the end scene was the wolves or the Whisperers there, but that guy seemed to know who it was, but he definitely got jumped.
Yeah, something happened at the end. I don't necessarily want to speculate too much, but keep in mind we haven't seen Dwight in a while. So Dwight went off on his little hero quest or whatever to find his wife, but
did
he find her? I don't know. And like we intimated, I'm pretty sure the Whisperers are coming, and I can't wait for that, because that's going to be where the excitement builds. This first few episodes is going to be kind of slow for a little bit. We may lose a character next week, but other than that, I think it's doing pretty well so far. I know Colonel is all into the action and the gore. I like story a lot, so I don't mind a few slow episodes here and there. I'm waiting to see what happens. It should be fun.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be fun.
Oh,
I'll say this: the state of decay of the zombies now is excellent. They all look disgusting and like they smell like, death.
That's Greg Nicotero, baby. I mean, he's just working overtime on that shit. And they're always coming up with new stuff. So that's what I love. I mean, the rolling logs and the
arm.
The guy's arm that got stuck under the log, that looked amazing when they took it out. I mean, you can't tell me as a kid that used to see stuff like that in movies and be like, "Oh, great." You couldn't tell me as a kid 30-something years ago or whatever that, "Oh yeah, someday you're going to be seeing this on TV." I'd have told you bullshit.
Yeah, bullshit.
Bullshit.
But here we are. Thank you. Next up on Stories Around the Campfire, we just got a new Pet Sematary trailer dropped on us, based on a Stephen King novel, and there was a movie previously back in 1989 released. Check this trailer out and we'll come back and talk about it.
So many trees. It's beautiful, right?
That's definitely not Boston.
Here we go. Okay, so what do you think?
Wow. This whole place is ours?
I even got him to throw in a whole forest as a new backyard.
It was a myth. Kids used to dare each other to go into the woods at night. They knew the power of that place. They feared it. Those woods belong to something else. around is bad. It may be just some crazy folk tale, but there is something up in those woods. There's something that brings things back. Sometimes dead is better.
So that's the new trailer for Pet Sematary coming out next April. Molly, talk to us about this.
You know, I mean, I've been hearing things already. People like, why are you fucking with Pet Sematary? I'm like, what? Fucking with Pet Sematary? I mean, you already remade Halloween and the Chainsaw Massacre, and to me, you know, two iconic movies that, you know, that was pretty, you're going to remake that? So nothing is off limits. And come on now, Pet Sematary, to me, was not really, the greatest movie. I mean, his books are phenomenal, no doubt, but Pet Sematary was not my favorite Stephen King movie, and I could easily see it being done. I mean, that's not a problem. Sometimes dead is better. So, I mean, hey, bring it on. Let's do it again. It's been 20 years. Let's have it. I'm cool with it. I mean, it's just going to be an updated version of it, it looks like, trailer, but, bring it on. I mean, sure, why not?
Yeah, see, this is where I disagree with some of the people like you mentioned. I think Pet Sematary is prime for a remake right now. I mean, if there's anything out there that should be remade right now, it's Pet Sematary. Yeah. And with the state of, like, women, this is just another predictor, but the state of, women's rights and the women's movements that are going on right now, Carrie might not be too far behind. I know we had one 10 or so years ago, but that was basically almost a direct
video. More recent.
That was a sequel, The Rage, Carrie 2.
Yeah.
Oh, no, they did remake the Carrie, didn't they?
It was remade twice within 3 years or something like 5 years.
But weren't those more like straight to video kind of releases, or
one literally hit the theater, but I can't say the other one for sure. Yeah. But I'm serious. It was like 2 or 3 years in between them, and it was like, what the fuck?
Now, I wouldn't be shocked if a Carrie type story came along with kind of a tweaked, social conscious, a little bit more storyline to it. Yeah. Let's see, Zag, what do you got on the Pet Sematary trailer?
Yeah, I like it. It looks really slick. It looks like they shot it well and everything. But, the question in my head is, did this really need to be remade? This movie, it actually goes to the book. I mean, the subject matter is this, like when Gage gets run over by the semi. I mean, man, you feel that shit, man. That's rough. And they did a good job capturing that in the original in '89. I guess what I would like to see, I think it can be good. I think it probably will be pretty scary, but I really like to see the sister angle kind of expanded, the crazy, twisted. That shit gave me nightmares, 30 years ago. And then, I don't know, John Lithgow cast as the old man is a great casting, I think. I'll probably go see it. I'm pretty sure I will, as we do it for you. We cover it, man. We get it here. So, Pet Sematary, another Stephen King movie. Yeah, nothing is sacred anymore after Halloween, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street. Whatever. Let's do it. Just do it well. That's what I always say. Just do it well. Don't fucking rush it. Don't make The Fog. Don't remake The Fog. Remember, like you did that? You guys fucked it all up, man. You ruined it.
Yeah.
You can't touch John Carpenter's. That's Teflon, baby. But you guys tarnished sequel making for a long time with that shit. So, Pet Sematary, I hope you did not follow suit and you can deliver something that's, not making me want to puke my popcorn back up into the goddamn container.
No, never into the container. You put it on the floor for the fucking janitor.
Custodian dick.
Janitor.
Custodian my dick.
Custodian, clean it up, my dick.
All right. No, I agree. The original truck scene and Gage in the 1989 version, and the kid that played Gage, I mean, come on. Holy shit.
Oh, yeah.
Now that's a kid actor.
Mm-hmm.
Maximum Overdrive.
They don't make them like they used to.
No, that kid was solid, and that kid was even creepy before he was supposed to be creepy, which I thought was pretty damn cool.
His death was pretty emotional, too. It was good.
Yes. Oh, very much so. But one of the things in the new trailer I like is they really kind of captured and shocked me with that first truck that comes through. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, that came out of nowhere. And I thought that was just beautiful. I mean, because it's quiet and they're like, oh, yeah, there's lots of forest back here. Boom! Like, fuck you.
And we already know what's coming, so...
We know what's coming. And most of the viewers that go to see this movie are going to know what's coming. But you're just looking at that and you're seeing the mom holding Gage just like...
Yep, and she looks at him like, what the fuck?
Yeah, this looks like a bad idea, you know. And, of course it is. Colonel, talk to us about the Pet Sematary trailer.
All right, so the Pet Sematary trailer, I thought looked decent enough. I'm kind of with you guys. I don't know, everybody's like, I don't think it needed to be remade. The first one really wasn't that good. I mean, I wouldn't say it was like a classic. It's not a bad film. It's just not a classic in my eyes. Now, Silver Bullet and Night Flyer, you motherfuckers better not remake those. Because especially Silver Bullet, no one's going to top fucking crazy-ass Gary Busey.
Look at this.
It looks just about right.
Woo, 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 woo.
What about this? Woo, woo! I'm really forgetful.
But back on subject for Pet Sematary, yeah, the truck going by was a good scene, I thought. John Lithgow, I'm not really sold on it because about the only thing I loved about the original Pet Sematary,
Herman Munster, baby.
Fucking Fred Gwynn, Herman Munster. Don't go down that road. Like, you can't fucking beat that, man. That's motherfucking Herman.
I forgot to mention him. Yeah, he was one of the best parts of the original.
Like, come on, man. Fucking John Lithgow's a good actor, though. I'll be honest, he is a good actor. We'll see how he does with the role. And another part of this trailer I really liked was the little kids walking through the woods, beating their drums with their animal masks on.
Yeah.
Just because that really reminded me of one of my favorite bands, Avatar, music video for Night Never Ending. Check it out. It's a pretty fucked up video, and those kids are wearing animal masks as well. So I was like, oh, cool. Just coincidence. Still fucking cool. Like I say, I'll go see it, but it's Pet Sematary. I'll go watch it.
Man, I'm actually the one that's the most excited about this. I wouldn't necessarily say the original Pet Sematary was a classic, but it's good. I enjoyed it. When I grew up, I lived right off a highway though, so I have that connection to that movie. And you know, shit, how many pets did I lose? I had my own fucking pet cemetery in my backyard, you know. It wasn't haunted, not that I remember, but man, we lost pet after pet after pet on that highway, you know. So that always had stuck with me, and like I said, the Gage character, kid, was just creepy as shit, you know. I do agree with Zag. I hope they investigate the sister a little more, and I think they do. I think I've read something about where they dig into that storyline a little bit more, so I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, John Lithgow is definitely no Herman Munster. I will definitely say that.
No.
The other thing I thought was interesting about the trailer was I didn't necessarily like the drum music with the trailer. And I wanted something a little bit more dark and meaningfully evil. This just seemed kind of, oh, this seems, it was creepy, but it just wasn't creepy enough for what I was seeing going on in the trailer, like the muddy feet and, you know, Church. The first appearance of Church, that cat looks fucked up. That cat needs Sarah McLachlan to come along and help raise some money for it.
All they really say too is that the ground is bad, like the soil's bad. In the original and the part 2, it was known as an Indian burial ground, is where it was. So they didn't say anything really about that in the trailer. Maybe they will. And honestly, I know we didn't talk about it, but I liked part 2 more than I liked part 1. I can't lie. I watched part 2 more than I watched part 1.
It's entertaining.
Part 2 was okay.
It had more action going on. There was more things happening in it. The first one is iconic in the sense that it's the first Pet Cemetery. I get it. It's a good movie. It's not a classic. It's good. Pet Cemetery 2 hit me more at the right age because I was the same age as Edward Furlong. You know, it made sense to me. I was like, oh, yeah. Anything that's buried there comes back. Nice. You know, and Guts, you know, he was good in it, man. It with the bike. Oh, man, I love it.
I will say this about it, like that beginning, like you're saying, you didn't like the drums and the kids with the mask walking. I tend to agree. I found that a bit cliche, and I really thought that should have been a Native American or something, or some kind of ritual going down to it, if that's what the cause is. You know? So
why is the soil bad? You know, hopefully that's something to explain.
Well, I'm just saying I didn't like that portion of music being used. I mean, that was the main soundtrack for the last, 60 seconds of the trailer?
Yeah.
Was that just slow drum beat or middle 60 seconds. I mean, and it was effective, I guess, but I just think it could have been more effective with a different, music loop or, just sound design. But
I think it really fit the trailer though. Because, I mean, let's be honest, they're kids going to bury their pets. It's not going to be a fucking masterpiece. It's going to be simple. Like, it's going to be simple. It's not going to be fucking diverse and all like, I got it. To me, it made sense.
I see what you're saying. And in the film, yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine for that segment of the film where they're actually going to bury the pet.
Yeah, but to hype up your trailer with just that, I get what you're saying too. Yeah.
That's what it did. Yeah, it didn't really hit me for the trailer for some reason. And I wouldn't be talking about it so much, but the first time I watched this trailer, I was like, ooh, 30 seconds in, and then that started, and I was like, and it literally killed my mood. And I got distracted real easily from watching the trailer,
Absolutely.
And I was like, okay. Oh, look, squirrel, And then I come back to it and the trailer's over. I'm like, I better watch this again. And focus on it. So next up on Stories Around the Campfire, we're going to talk about the new AMC limited series, Eli Roth's History of Horror, that's airing right now on AMC. I believe it's on Sunday nights late. It started this Sunday on October 14th with the first episode that was on zombies, which I know a couple of you guys really dug, or all you guys really dug. Zag, talk to us about this.
Let me tell you something. I mean, a lot of these shows come along and it's just old clips from old movies and everything. It's Eli Roth here. This guy's done some pretty sizable stuff here in the genre and has left a mark. But now he's kind of the moderator here, and he's bringing in guys like Mick Garris, Robert Englund, Bruce Campbell, just to name a few, just to talk about everything horror. And again, this first episode was all zombies. So, I mean, typically it was a 75% love letter to George A. Romero, which was I plan to watch this thing over and over again because it's that good. They get into Dan Boyle and running zombies a little bit, but I mean, man, this is top-notch. They got scenes. There's good gore in it that show you and stuff, and they really, really break this shit down. So, there's only about 6 or 7 topics they're going to handle during Fear Fest on AMC. That's where they do it. Right. And I tell you what, man, Zombies was great, and the next 2 episodes are slashers. So I know we'll all have some opinion on that. Tell them, Colonel.
Yeah.
All right. Well, unfortunately, being the morning person of the group, I have not seen the first episode yet, even though I do have a series set up to record because I love shit like this. This is the perfect show if you're going to do it. And Eli Roth is the perfect person to host it. Oh, man, especially when I seen that clip of him interviewing Tarantino about Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, Tarantino, how animated he got. He is talking about horror to people who love horror. This thing is going to be phenomenal. Phenomenal. I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah. Well, but Tarantino is always animated. I don't even think he didn't make a withdrawal from the bank without being animated, you know? It'd be like, I need $200 from you, miss. What's your name again? You know, that's just the way he is. And I love him for it, you know? Molly, have you checked it out yet?
Oh, yes. And I must say, with the boys, I fucking love this kind of shit. This is what I'm talking about. I mean, I'm looking forward to these episodes as much as I am the new Walking Dead, if not even more, honestly. Because, I mean, Roth, I mean, yeah, he's done some considerable, decent movies. I mean, Hostel was different, and, you know, it's kind of set a different tone there. Cabin Fever was quite an interesting movie. That spawned some sequels. I mean, he knows horror, and he's a huge fan of horror. And how in-depth he got with these interviews with these big, top-notch people. The first episode on zombies, he's got Nicotero and Rob Zombie sitting right there at the table with him. I'm fucking loving that shit. You know, and, you know, paying homage to Romero, even throwing an old interview with him, talking about his movie since he passed away. You know, but, oh, God, I'm looking forward to this. This is what I'm talking about. I love good horror documentaries. I mean, I could watch this shit all day long because this is like talking with you guys. It's like talking to people that know the shit that I know and, you know, feel it the way I feel it. So, love this. I mean, if you're watching this show and you haven't seen it, you go check it out on AMC Sunday nights after The Walking Dead, I think. This what is it? What is it called? History of Horror. Yes, you watch this. You will not be disappointed. I love it.
Possible.
Or just DVR it, TiVo it, or whatever you do, like Colonel does.
Do what you gotta do to get it done.
You'll have it when you get the chance. No, I completely agree. It's you know, this is going to sound cheesy, but it's like a love letter to the horror genre, and that's what I like. You know, we kind of fashioned this show as a love letter to the horror genre because we love the genre. You know, we may have our favorite movies, or we may have different movies that we will never really go see or pay too much attention to, but we respect them for, you know, doing what they're doing with the horror genre. And Eli Roth is a good host for it. Much better than I think Colonel mentioned earlier in the show, the guy from ET Entertainment Tonight. He could have been the host of this show, but we would have gone to AMC Studios and burned that motherfucker down if that was the case.
The ground.
To the fucking ground. All right, gang, so that's going to wrap it up for Stories Around the Campfire. We're going to take another little quick break, and we'll be back to answer your questions. Stick around.
I'll be right back. Don't get dressed.
Do you like Death Curse Society?
Support the DCS by advertising with us. We have several different ways to advertise. Sponsor a segment or a complete show, 30 or 60-second commercials, product placements or service discussion, banner ads with links on our interactive website, full website page sponsorships, get Facebook and Twitter mentions from our host or special guest, special shout-outs on our YouTube channel, and more. You can even advertise regionally through our website and keep your costs down, or ask about our package deals to save even more. Visit our website at deathcursesociety.com and click on the advertising sponsorship link under contact on the main menu. Thanks.
They're back.
All right, we're back with Death Curse Society, almost ready to wrap it up, but we got one more thing to take care of. It's time for you guys to ask us what's on our mind. Let me ask you a question.
Little pigs, let me come in. Here's Johnny.
We got one video question sent to us this week from C-Phase. Let's roll that.
What's up, Death Curse Society? C-Phase here.
After all this talk about movies, I think it's about time to give the book some love. So, I'm going to ask you a simple question. What's your favorite book in the horror genre?
Interesting question, Chris Faze. Appreciate you sending in the video. So let's start with books in the horror genre. I think the most prolific reader, at least of recent times, is our favorite Colonel. Colonel, go ahead with us on this.
All right, gentlemen, we'll go with a couple authors that are out of the norm here. My current favorite author in the horror genre is Bentley Little. If you have not read any of his books, I highly suggest The Ignored or The Store. It's a real toss-up on which one is the best. Quick summary of The Ignored. Your main character is a nobody. He always has been. He's always kind of blended in with society. But he comes to find another group of people that are forgettable like him, and the mayhem ensues from there. And with The Store, it's pretty much a take on Walmart and how fucked up it really is and the crazy rituals they make their employees go through on evil a mega store like that is. It's a great book. My favorite local author at the moment is Bryce Warren and his book, The Waverly Hills Incursion. If you guys know about Waverly Hills Sanitarium here in the great state of Kentucky in Louisville, is supposedly the most haunted place in America. And in his novel, they renovate it to be in an apartment building, and there's a lot of paranormal activity. Without trying to give away too much of the plot, it's a really good read. It's a quick read, but it's fantastic. So I have to go with Bentley Little, with The Store and The Ignored. And if you want something a little more underground, Bryce Warren's The Waverly Hills Incursion.
Molly, what do you got to add on favorite novels in the or favorite books in the horror genre?
All right. Well, I'm not much of a reader, guys. We all know that. Most of the time I read was in jail. You know, I'll admit it. And the books came across, and when I got into Stephen King, of course, James Patterson. I liked a lot of his books. Anne Rice. I read, I think, 3 of hers. But overall, the only book I've ever really, well, when I was younger, I read a lot. I read all the Goosebumps when I was a kid, so I forgot about that. But my favorite book is The Dark Half. Stephen King.
Good pull.
I don't like the movie very much, even though it was directed by, wasn't that directed by Romero?
Romero, yep.
Yeah. I thought. I didn't think the movie was all that good, but then again, you know, books are so much better. But to me, this book was very, very top-notch choice. So, coming from a non-book reader, that's the best I can give you.
I'm actually kind of surprised you pulled The Dark Half out there, Molly, because when we were talking about Haunting of Hill House earlier, you know, I actually kind of, I know the book is a whole lot better than the movie when it comes to The Dark Half, and most books are, but a whole lot better as a book, and I agree with you on that. But I actually like the movie mostly because I'm a big Timothy Hutton fan. I always have been. There's not much that he's done that I didn't like, and the fact that he was able to play those 2 roles, you know, pretty well back to back. I mean, he was kind of a sleazy son of a bitch in that movie, you know? So, yeah. He needed to be. But all right, Zag, what do you got on this?
I got a couple. You know, Stephen King, that's always a winner. It was a book I read over an entire semester in an individualized reading class, and it was, you know, it took the whole damn semester to read it an hour at a time, you know? But as I got into different things like Dean Koontz, were a couple of The Bad Place was one I liked a lot. But the book I've ever read in the horror genre, Brian Lumley's Necroscope. Outstanding. It's about a demon vampire, a man that can communicate with the dead. But what he does in this world, in this realm, in its modern times, whatever you did in life, your best talent, your greatest gift, and in death, you lay in your coffin and whatever and perfect it and break it down to its absolute everything. So you're the best. And this guy can come along and talk to you. The dead are so grateful to talk to anyone. I guess death is lonely, apparently, in this world. But he can pick up your talents, and so he's a math major. He's everything. He can do it all. And it kind of leads into some time travel stuff with the Mobius strip. But, I mean, this book is crazy. This demon vampire, the Necroscope himself, he comes around and what he does is kill you and then harvests your organs and kind of gets naked and plays with them and listens to them and tastes them. And whatever secrets you're hiding, he is going to discover. And there's a big collision and a clash, but it's something I really hope they make into a movie someday. The rights have been bought over and over and over again, but never seems to make it to out of development hell, but that's it. Ryan Lumley's Necroscope, there's a whole series on them, but the first one is the best.
Zag, you mentioned demons in that book. That did remind me of a book a buddy of mine years ago turned me on to called The Screw Tape Letters, about a demon, two demons. One was an uncle, basically writing letters to his nephew about corrupting the soul of the man that he was trying to take over. It was a pretty twisted book, but pretty good. I mean, just demons talking to each other. It's interesting. Screw Tape Letters.
That's C.S. Lewis, isn't it?
Yes.
I've not heard of it.
Yeah. It's a twisted one. I remember reading that when I was a kid. For me, at first, I'm going to keep it kind of basic. Of course, Stephen King is the master of horror, so I'm going to keep it pretty simple. This would be one of mine. Yes. But I have a reason for it, or I have a couple of reasons for it. I read this book probably the first time when I was around 7 years old. When I was a kid growing up, my parents owned a motel. And like I mentioned during the Pet Sematary deal, our motel was right on the highway. My friends used to call it the Bates Motel, based on Psycho. But I always like to equate it to The Shining. And when I started reading The Shining, my parents didn't know I had started reading it. I just grabbed it off the bookshelf and was like, it's about a kid in a hotel. This looks interesting. Da, 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 da. And I got about halfway through it before my mom spotted me one day and was like, what the hell are you reading? I was like, this is amazing. So I really dig that. And I, of course, love the original Kubrick adaptation. Not a big fan of the made-for-TV one they did not too long ago, but whatever. And then another author I really dig, but that's probably my favorite Stephen King book. But another author I really dig is a guy I discovered several years ago, a guy named Robert R. McGammon, and this is the book that introduced me to him, as you can tell, because this one's beat up to hell. It's called They Thirst, and it's basically about vampires in the urban, like dirty urban areas of LA. And it's pretty dark and twisted and fast-paced and a lot of fun. I actually, one of the reasons why that edition of that book is so beat up is I was trying to, years ago when I was a writer, trying to adapt that to a film script. Just never was able to finish it. So, but McGammon's got a lot of other stuff out there that's real nice. And I think he just put out a book a couple years ago that has gotten a lot of good reviews. So those are my two picks for authors and my favorite books of each author. So there you go, C-Phase. Hope you enjoy that. Let us know what your favorite books are in the comments below. Maybe we'll check those out too. All right. Well, guys, thanks for the questions. Those were great. We appreciate it. Make sure to send your question in. We'll always have like a little Facebook post up asking for questions to be sent to us that we can use on the show. And if you send it in a video form, we might use your video. So you could be on the next episode. Watch out for that. All right, gang. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for Death Curse Society this week. Molly, tell them what's up.
Yo, man, Phil Mora hooking us up with the fine editing equipment that Zag and Colonel and Crank use. I don't really do it myself, but hey, I let the big boys play with the big toys. Yo, thank you, Phil Mora.
All right, Zigzag.
Yeah, Molly. Hey, guys. We're out there like a fungus, like an infection. www.deathcursesociety.com, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're there. Find us, and we'll find you.
Woo! All right, Colonel.
All right. After you look at those places, as you're watching us right now, you're already on YouTube. Give us a subscribe. Hit that notification for when we release new videos. We release quite a few every week. Gives us that thumbs up. We want to hear from you guys. Comment.
Well, gang, our next episode is actually going to be next week. We're going to do a couple back-to-back episodes this time because you know what? Next week is all about the new Halloween. We're watching it this week, and we're going to tell you all about it next week. So you better watch it too. You have until Thursday, October 25th, to have seen Halloween and then come back and hang out with the DCS, and let's talk about it. Other than that, that's going to wrap it up with the DCS. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned next week, and we'll see you then. DCS out. Stay cursed.
DCS out. You stay cursed.
DCS out.
Woo! To the no. Yeah, to the no.
Hell no. To the no.
Oh, coast to me.
Oh, Lord.
Sorry.
I thought that's what you meant. Like we were going to go to us two and then,
I'm about to take this fucking thing down.
Oh, shit.
God damn it.
All right, so Colonel, what do you got to add on cast and crew interviews? What have you seen? What have you got to add to the back of your ship?
Woo! Let me get a little taste.
Do you want to do anything with that or just leave it?
I'm
Go
going
with
to
it.
fucking leave it.
All right. Let me throw it back to you then, so it doesn't fall in the middle of that.
Okay.
But you know that's going in the credits.
oh, baby.
Oh, it better go in the fucking credits.
There's the credit roll.
All right.
And I'm fucking with people. Totally different poster.
Oh, shit.
All right.
You know, not as much, maybe. Maybe they had a little bit of an inkling, but not as much.
Jesus. We're good.
All right. More credit.
And locally, I've really...
Yes! 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 Woo! Woo! Woo!
God damn it.
That's the shit! I'm telling you.
Epic!
Glorious!
Did anybody else see it coming and just not want to say anything? Because
I thought he was like coming at the screen like he was going to hit us, and then I was like, oh, he got taken out.
I literally watched it the entire way, and I was like, I ain't saying shit.
And it would happen to Colonel, too. You know, the most quiet one of the bunch, and he just, wham! Somebody barked back there. He caught some wind. Whoosh.
Oh, my Lord.
That was glorious.
That was worth it right there.
We're gonna have
Good night.
We're gonna have one hell of a blooper reel.
Yeah, it's just all gonna be my shit. I'm set falling over, shit falling down.
Well, Molly's phone fell down.
True.